Hey everybody, Dustin DePirek here. Columnist Ryan Karchi. The Ginger returns. He's home. He's happy. He's pretty much losing his mind
dangerous.
here. Pretty more or less. I mean, you see, he's rocking the suit jacket as well. He could definitely tell you where his season tickets were for the Falcons in 1998 or something.
He's pointing.
He's pointing them out. There you go. I'm surprised
2002.
they're actually in the shot. Yeah, 2002, somewhere in that vicinity. Michael Vick's rookie year. But anyway, we are here in the Georgia Dome. One more day till the long-awaited rematch between Indiana and Kentucky. I say long-awaited as though anybody knew it was going to happen before Sunday.
It's been a long, 5 days, though.
It has been a long 5 days. I mean, there's been much discussed about the rivalry, the travel. Yeah, we were kind of everywhere.
True.
But tomorrow it actually happens. They give it a go again. They try to, I guess, recreate the magic or whatever of what happened in Bloomington and Assembly Hall 3 months ago. Guys, just what do you think going in?
Well, first of all, I don't think that magic's going to be pretty hard to recreate. I mean, this is going to be a split crowd as far as we know. I would have to guess there will be more Kentucky fans here, but again, that could change. I mean, any of
Neutrals who hang around might cheer for
any of the other fans will likely cheer for Indiana
because they won't want to play Kentucky.
No, exactly. So for all the wrong reasons, if you're an Indiana fan,
whoever wins that first game is not rooting for
Might
Kentucky.
also,
I promise.
honestly, might help. This is SEC country. I mean, there are going to be a lot of people here who have no affiliation or are just coming because it's the Sweet 16 and someone got them tickets.
Yeah.
And I mean, like a Georgia fan is much more likely to pull for Indiana than Kentucky.
Exactly. No, that's very true. It is very winnable. They can win over the truly neutral crowd here. I mean, I think I was surprised honestly as how neutral the crowd at Portland was. I would say almost 60% probably. I would go so far as to say of that crowd was just the general public, just people that were there to watch games.
And most of them rooted against Indiana down the stretch.
True. Down the stretch, they kind of picked it up for VCU. But, I mean, it was a very non-partisan crowd, I thought, more or less. And Indiana has a better chance. No, they do not. No, they do not. But, I mean, kind of got to look at matchups again. I mean, somehow Indiana was able to pull this off the first time, thanks in large part to foul trouble by Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis hasn't had more than 3 fouls since. That blows my mind completely. He had 4 fouls in that game. He played 24 minutes. He had his 4th foul with 12 minutes to go. Was really walking on eggshells a lot. I mean, even when he was out there, they could drive at him. You know, they went right at him because he was afraid to pick up a 5th foul, and he's found ways of not to do that. He's got that kind of length that he doesn't have to do that.
Half the SEC is probably afraid of driving on him, so I think that might have a little bit to do with him not getting that 4th foul. But at the same time, I mean, his defensive fundamentals have just gotten better. I mean, Calipari explained today that, you know, this isn't a football game, this is a basketball game, and he kind of told Davis that, you know, if the guy gets past you, sort of let him past you at that point. If you're fouling, you're only hurting the team at that point, which is exactly true. I mean, that's what happened against Indiana. When he was out, the team was completely different. I mean, what he brings to the floor is just unlike any other player in college basketball, and that's why you see him getting all the accolades that he does. But, so I don't think it's going to be tough to recreate, 2 fouls in 1 minute or in the first half, and they're gonna have to find a way around that.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I don't think people are gonna look at it as it's Zeller versus Davis, and that's obviously, and I don't think Zeller's at that much of a disadvantage there. I mean, he can find ways. He's crafty. He can find ways to get around him. He's got that much height. When he's dealing with another guy that's 6'11", but it is what it is. I mean, Cody's probably going to get his. Davis is probably going to get his. I mean, that matchup, maybe it turns out into a wash just between those two. The bigger issue you have with Davis, though, is when you're driving at him. It's when other guys are coming at him, not necessarily Zeller, not necessarily taking him out. When you're dealing with Oladipo going to the lane, I mean, how much harder is it for Oladipo to score when he's dealing with a shot blocker? I mean, I think you saw that even against New Mexico State a little bit. He went in some big guys. Is a little bit soft sort of on the finish and get it pinned against the glass that way. And those are that's really where the game changes with Davis. It's less how good is your big guy. It's more how are your guards at finishing around somebody that's got that much length and just getting it around them. And that's,
and passing it around them, too. I think that's something
that too,
been,
exactly.
They've been better at it, certainly, this year. And I think that there are games where it's worked really well, just kind of the dump-offs and the handoffs right around the rim. Christian Watford and Cody Zeller, I think, do a very good job of finding each other in that way. But you know, you talked about it. If Jordan Hulse drives, well, but seriously, if Jordan Hulse drives, if Victor Oladipo drives, if Will Sheehy drives, they're going to have to be looking, because one thing Will Sheehy talked about today, you make Davis more dangerous when he's guarding off the ball.
Absolutely.
Because that's when he can read and time, as opposed to when you were making him guard on the ball, and that sort of at least puts the offensive player in a better position, because Davis has to react to what they do as opposed to sort of reading the play from a sort of third-party distance. So, to me, I think there needs to be a lot of drive and kick and drive and dish from Indiana's guards. You know, and short passes, not too hard, not too soft. I know Oladipo in particular is a guy who I think has a tendency to sometimes fire a pass off at close range when he shouldn't. But you know, if they can do that and get Davis sort of turning around, then maybe they can either get him into that mode that Calipari talked about, where he just lets them have the basket, or maybe you can get him off balance, sort of twisting around, changing directions, and then maybe he can commit.
He just falls into a foul.
And it also,
like that.
I mean, look, it's also going to depend on how this game is called. I mean,
sure.
if it's called tight, I think Indiana's got a chance to put him in foul trouble.
Definitely favors Indiana.
Because I do think Indiana's fearless. I think Indiana will drive at anyone.
Right. No, you're right.
But you know, if they let it go, if they let body checks go.
Yeah. No, and that definitely makes an issue.
He's not going to miss the ball a lot. What you're hoping is you can get a lot of body fouls.
Right. And when he's got that much length, he's got a 7'4" wingspan. He doesn't have to, come anywhere near you to block you.
Blocking three-pointers.
He can block from a distance. Yeah, exactly. He can block you from a distance. You can get a shot off and in the air, and he'll still get it. And that's sort of the biggest difference. That's how you get to be a great shot blocker. Is you don't have to go right up to the guy and hit it. You can, let him put it up, let it sit in the air for a minute, and still be able to knock it down. He's that tall. He's got that much wingspan. He's got that much jumping ability. I mean, he can get up as well. I mean, one thing Tom Crean said the other day was you can't replicate how fast he rises to dunk or block a shot. He's just not capable of doing that. But and then that's just the start is Anthony Davis. I mean, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was an absolute animal in the first game, 6'7".
Future pro, apparently, Michael.
Future pro. Apparently, he told somebody today he's going pro. This seems like I think he actually did it in the locker room. He didn't do it during the press conference. So, I guess he just went back and said, yeah, I'm announcing, sure. I don't know how you get talked into that here, but
kind of a bad time too, considering how much he's struggled lately.
Yeah, but he's gonna be fine. Trust me, the NBA wants him really bad.
I mean, yeah.
But how much bad timing for his team in terms of how much distraction I think Kentucky is already.
I don't think they care.
I mean, Davis is the one who handled it well, saying, kind of deflecting questions, saying he hasn't thought about it.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is I think Kentucky's already going to come into this game with a lot of attention on it.
Sure.
The game, a lot of attention, a lot of this revenge factor. They can say it's not there, but they've been talking about.
Oh, it's definitely there. That's
definitely
there.
there.
So it's there. They're already going to be kind of wound up, and then all of a sudden you've got this. I mean. If he says it on Monday, I don't think it's a big deal. But if he says it, the day before a game, I think it can be a distraction.
I don't think so, simply because I think everybody goes to Kentucky thinking they want to leave after the first
you
year.
have 1,665 emails in your inbox. So
I do, and that doesn't matter. Anyway, but Indiana still won this game the first time. For all that we could say about how amazing Kentucky is and how much talent they have, and how many NBA players and how many lottery picks.
And that was not maybe their best game of the season.
Yes, they've made a point to say, we didn't play our best game. We were up by 10. We almost blew it. We didn't do everything right that game. How can they do it again? Beyond, we've talked about, all right, Terrence Jones had a horrible game and Anthony Davis got in foul trouble, but Indiana did things to win that game. What do they have to do again? What do they have to replicate that they succeeded at instead of just getting Kentucky to play bad?
They have to get hot from three-point range. They were 7 of 9 in the second half against Kentucky the last time. That's unreal. They haven't shot that well in any game from three-point range, or in any half all season from three-point range. And if they can do that, percentage-wise, if they can do that, they're gonna keep with Kentucky. They're gonna be able to pull themselves back into the game. But that's not gonna be as easy this time.
No.
Kentucky knows what they do when they go out when they pass out the three-point line. To shoot 7 of 9 just doesn't happen. You have to just be in a flow to do that. I think that's one of the more important things. I think Cody Zeller staying out of foul trouble is absolutely paramount.
Beyond critical.
I mean, if
critical.
he gets into foul trouble early, this game might be over by halftime. I mean,
yeah, I think biggest two guys, as almost always, they go as they go. Watford and Hulls, as always. If those guys hit shots, as always, and Watford I think is the one guy that when he's on. Like, when he's playing at his level, it's not that Kentucky doesn't have an answer for him, but he's the one guy that can just score, and that Kentucky can't necessarily take him away. I mean, Jones has even given up size to him. I mean, and Watford's actually owned Jones the last 2 games, not just the last one. I mean, he did good against him in Lexington last year. He's the big one, and obviously Hulls is probably going to be dealing with Kid Gilchrist again, who kind of swallowed him up, but he still managed to
bad
manage 11
matchup
points.
for him.
It was a rough matchup, but you still need both those guys.
He still scored 11 points.
He still scored 11 points. He had 5 assists.
I would put it down to a handful of things. One, last time Indiana said they slowed the pace down. I don't think that's what they did so much as they were willing to pull the ball back. I think they were just very prudent in when they picked out sort of their opportunities to run. I think they need to do that.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, especially recognize where's Anthony Davis on the floor if we get out in transition. Is it 3-on-1? Is it 3-on-2? Is he one of the 2 back? Or is he behind the play? Is he on the bench? You need to recognize things like that and be able to, when you need to slow the ball down and slow the pace down, be able to get good shots. I think Indiana needs to rebound the ball well and shoot a lot of free throws. That has been their winning formula since that Michigan game. Kind of, it seems like, is what was the pivot point for their season. And since that loss and in Ann Arbor, I think they're 8-1 when they out rebound and outshoot from the free throw line an opponent. And then if Indiana can find its 3-point shooting stroke, it would not hurt. I think it would favor Indiana if they could turn this into a 3-point shooting contest.
Yes,
absolutely.
Because they're a better shooting team.
I mean, I know that this Kentucky team is not the same Kentucky team as last year, 2 years ago. But I think this is still a Kentucky team that can get sucked into playing, just not sucked into getting away from its game plan.
Yes.
And that's what you saw against West Virginia 2 years ago in the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Was a Kentucky team that felt like, oh, okay, now we're just going to shoot a lot of threes because they are. But Kentucky's threes weren't going down, and they just kept shooting them.
Yeah.
And some of them were open, but by the end of the night, everybody was just so cold that the threes just wouldn't go. If Indiana, I know it usually doesn't matter, and I said this in our little InsideIndiana.com video report, shameless plug. But I did actually kind of watch today because this is such a big arena and because it's such a foreign environment. Indiana seemed to be shooting the ball well in its open practice. And again, I normally don't care about that stuff. I normally don't care about.
But this is a weird backdrop. This is a really weird backdrop.
But this is going to be an environment that's foreign to probably every single one of them. None of these kids ever even played at the RCA Dome, so I mean that could honestly be a factor.
It could.
If Indiana can find its range and maybe force Kentucky into some shots, and
it could happen.
So
I actually have to force this.
Well, we need predictions. Quick.
Lost. I mean,
lost by what?
Kentucky by 5.
Yeah, good game. I don't think Indiana's blown out. Maybe they're down early, but I think they get back in it. But at the end of the day, I think
Kentucky by 12.
Okay.
I say Kentucky by 10-ish.
But
free throws maybe make it look different.
That's the prediction. At this point, I would never write
so
this team
you're
off
saying
again.
there's a chance.
There's always a chance. With this team, there's
this team
always
does
a
not
chance.
die.
Thanks, everybody.